Okay, this is something we talked about before, but ever since we've gotten back to virtual learning, this has really kind of risen to the top as a top need for us right now. So we're just going to hit this pretty hard here and just kind of take care of a few things. And that's going to be getting our Schoology agendas just really consistent for our kids, for our middle school. It's just a really good communication tool that we're going to start using more consistently. So we're going to go ahead and start with why we are looking at our Schoology agendas again. So let's go ahead and start with this why piece. And the first one is like, what is the purpose of these agendas? One huge purpose is that we are going to have absent and quarantine students into the foreseeable future. And we need to provide virtual learning, not to the same extent that we did for all of our kids when we had 2 weeks of virtual learning, but we've got to make sure that they can stay caught up. And when they call the office and when they're quarantined or when they're absent, we are telling parents and we are telling students, check on the Schoology agenda. Everything will be there. And we need everything to be there. It's the best way to keep up with our absent and quarantine students. It's how we're serving our people the best. Secondly, we've had lots of confusion and questions around homework for some reason ever since virtual learning, and parents are calling in a lot too. And we're wanting, parents and students are wanting us to check their homework, tell them what's due, have teachers check planners all the time, things that we're just not really wanting to do. We're going to kind of draw a line there, but we've got to do our part. So we want to have some clearly defined and labeled homework so there's no question about what's due and when it's due, and kids and parents can check for themselves, and we don't need to do that piece for them. Third, we're having sub issues. Just in case you need a sub, we need to have our best people trained, and our best people are our students. When our students get used to looking at our agendas, they know that they can work through them. If you have a sub and we have to do something crazy like put 3 classes in one room with one sub, your kids are going to be fine because they know how to work through these agendas and because we're prepared for that. And then finally, it's really just best practice. When Sarah and I did our interviews with some kids to try to find out what they liked best about their virtual learning. When we were out, they by far preferred things that mirrored what they were doing in the classroom. We heard a lot. It was just like what we do in class. They love that. So when we can get our in-person instruction to look very similar to our out-of-person instruction, obviously with more one-on-one instead of videos, but otherwise it really supports our kiddos that way too. So that's kind of our why. So how we're going to do this is just by having 3 kind of expectations or requirements for our agendas. First of all, we want our agendas on the Schoology calendar to be a to-do list of activities that we have for our kids to do. Secondly, we want to include links or directions for accessing any materials that our students might need to be able to do this work outside of our classroom. And then finally, we want to have very clear homework and due dates if you have homework for that day. And so I want to go ahead and show you an example of what this would look like. And we're going to use Mr. Riley's example here. So we're going to come into Mr. Riley's social studies agenda. And if we look here, we can see those requirements being met. So first of all, we've got a to-do list. I can read through here. If I'm at home, I can see exactly what was happening in class and kind of keep up. Secondly, there are links to things that I wouldn't have at home. Same thing, if there's an article that you're reading, if there's something that you're doing that they would need to have at home, we need to have it linked so that they can access that. We will still send their books home, obviously. We just don't want to be sending home like paper packet kind of things every day as kids are home. And then the third piece is going to be this homework is clearly labeled at the bottom. We can see here, like there is homework. I see there's homework. I see there's homework. But now I clearly know if there's homework, it's listed separately here at the bottom, and I know when it's due. So if I'm a parent and I'm at home, or if I'm a kid and I'm like, I have no idea what I was supposed to do today, I can check here and see what my homework was and when it's due. So as we all work together, as we all make sure we have a to-do list, we have links and directions for accessing materials, and we have clear homework and due dates, it is just really going to clear up a lot of problems for us. It's going to save time because we aren't going to have to send homework home. We're not going to have to bother you with homework. It's going to save time checking student planners. We're going to tell kids and parents, hey, you can check your own because we are doing our work here. We're definitely doing our part. We're going to make them do their part as well. And then we're going to prepare our students for our subs and for any future virtual learning. So thank you very much for your work. I appreciate it. If you're a Google Doc person, we're asking you please copy and paste the information from your Google Doc to the agenda every day because we really do want to have that consistency. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to check your agendas to give you any feedback. Have a great day.